So I just have to say, as somebody that feels energy very, very strongly, this is actually like funny for me today as I'm talking about Neptune in the fifth house. I just read a chart that actually had this placement, and I'm feeling super like brain fog in this area myself as I have transit Neptune on my fourth, but it's like right on the cusp right now. It's about to go into my fifth house. So I'm excited to see what this planet brings to a very exciting part of life. I'm already super Neptunian in this area because my Pisces sun sits on my fifth. So I guess it would be like the life that I already kind of live, but like amped up. Neptune in the fifth house. The fifth house is the area of your zodiac chart that rules fun, excitement, children, happiness, the things that you do like in your spare time to enjoy yourself. It is considered to be like the heart of your birth chart, as opposed to the fourth house, which is your soul, and it's like your psychological background and the way that you were raised. So the fifth is like when you think to like your childhood and the way that you were as a kid. This is the way that I like to think of it, and one of the things about people who have strong like Neptune placements, or I mean just strong placements in their fifth in general, they are known to be like perpetual kids. We are like big kids. So think back to your childhood and like what you experienced as like a kid, like before everybody like told you the way that you were supposed to live and the things that you were supposed to do. What did you do for fun? With Neptune in your fifth, there's a lot of imagination in this area. Like you were probably a very creative kid, the kind of kid that like you could give a box of crayons to and they would be happy for hours probably. Neptune in the fifth, with it being the area that rules romance, you can go above and beyond in your romances. You can definitely be a martyr in this area. Your loved ones can do no wrong in your eyes, and you might let people walk all over you a little bit. But at the same time, like, because Neptune, as they explain it quite often, like it's like wearing like rose-colored glasses. Like that area of life is just very, very foggy for you and dreamy, but very idealistic. And it is like it's not necessarily the worst placement for Neptune. It can be if you have like adverse aspects to Neptune. It can make things very, very complicated to you in regards to like your love life and stuff like that. But for the most part, a lot of people with Neptune in the fifth are just big dreamers. And that's something you actually see a lot of as well in regards to kids. The fifth house of your birth chart normally gives you a lot of clues about your children, mainly your first child. So with Neptune in your fifth, you will probably have a dreamer as a child, at least your first one. But most of your kids in general will be pretty Neptunian in nature. They will probably be like psychically receptive and just very, very floaty and flighty and foggy too. You might have some big ADDers. What else is there about Neptune in the fifth that I can talk about? With Neptune in your fifth house, this is not necessarily the best thing, but like a lot of people with this placement, especially men, like they can have children that they don't even know exist, actually. You might not know much about your child, or somebody could claim that you had a child with them that you don't really know if the child is yours or not. That can make things complicated, definitely. But that's just one thing that could potentially happen. I don't like looking at astrology ever black and white. It's one of the reasons as to why I like to talk to people with placements and talk through them and see how it's affected their lives in general. Creativity will be huge to you in regards to fun. You will be the kind of person that would want to run off into the forest and live underneath the trees and look for fairies and all kinds of imaginative fun stuff. But don't worry, I'm guessing you still obviously, unless Neptune is very badly aspected, then you could just be crazy and think that there really were fairies and all kinds of magical shit out there. I have a trine between Neptune and Saturn, so even though I have Pisces placed in my fifth, I am very realistic in regards to my imagination. I know what's there and what isn't and stuff like that. But sometimes people that are very, very Neptunian, they have a hard time seeing between these things. And personally, as somebody that does have a pretty strong Neptune influence in my chart, I don't really mind that. I don't really see that as a bad thing. Being a dreamer is beautiful to me. So with Neptune in your fifth house, you definitely would be very, very imaginative. You would want to do things that were just in regards to your leisure time and the time that you wanted to spend in activities that revolved around fun and entertainment for you. You would be somebody that would definitely enjoy going to musical festivals and maybe art museums, or just anything that allowed you to cultivate and use your imaginative side. So yeah, that's Neptune in the 5th house for you. It can take on many, many different forms, but that's a pretty good overview. Hopefully you enjoyed that.